Civil Aviation Authority faces a review against what is described as the 8 critical elements. These critical elements to be assessed include primary aviation legislation, specific operating regulations, state civil aviation system, and safety oversight functions, among others. The Acting Director General of the agency, Benedict Adeyileka, sheds more light on these elements and how important it is to scale through this review exercise successfully. All right, Nigeria obtained Category 1 in 2010. 3 years on, the USA FAA is here to review. Why is this exercise necessary?
To start with, the Category 1 exercise or the initial issue is not a one-off. It's like IOSA, where you have an initial issue, there is a continuous monitoring, and you're supposed to have a re-audit just to make sure that you still keep the same standard that you had when they issued it for you. However, on this occasion, we have to be very specific here. One of the reasons why this was called for prematurely was because of the negative press that we have. The press has not done us much favors by their style of reporting. It's not the reporting that is the issue, it's the style of reporting. Negative reporting, the majority of them has no factual elements, is a problem. Now, why do I say this? You have the FAA themselves, they have a way of continuous monitoring. They have Delta Airline coming to this country, they have United Airlines. So they have that internal information. However, the information they have is different from the reporting. So it's like maybe they are missing out on something, or maybe their intelligence is not thorough. So that is what, or even in the letter they wrote to us, as for the reason why this audit is called for, it's called for because of the negative press. That is why we need to be more open to each other. We've encouraged the press to talk to us and get the facts, and so that when they report, what they're reported is very factual.
Did they mention specific issues? You've gone on the fact that you had negative reports in the press. Did the FAA tell you specific issues?
There were issues that were reported that obviously is of a safety nature, even though they don't have the facts, which means there might be something missing. I'll give you an example. During the audit here, we had reported that a specific airline, which I'm not going to mention the name, that the AOC was issued by the minister. Now, to me, that is reckless reporting. This is probably not directly from the press, but directly from the stakeholder. We know, anybody who understands how the regulation is set up, it is practically impossible for a minister to come in and issue an air operator certificate. Typical examples like that. So that has been verified by the FAA auditors here.
That means that if there was no negative reporting, the US FAA will not be here.
I don't think they will be here by now, because I don't think we're due for a reassessment after. They can opt to come and do a preventive audit like we do to the airlines. We can go to the airline now and say we want to ask them for an audit. Yeah, but the problem is one of the reasons they don't have to give us the reason why they come to do the audit. It could be a periodic audit, but they specifically gave reasons of negative reporting.
In these few days, what would you say that the reassessment exercise has been like?
The assessment has been very favorable, but according to the feedback that we have, what we did was, as soon as we received the notification of audits from them, we set up a committee, a Category 1 audit committee. We went on the website, we set up the latest checklist. The checklist that they used in 2010 obviously has been modernized. So we've looked through the checklist ourselves. We have formed ourselves into groups. We have rehearsed the auditing. Sometimes I will go in there as an FA auditor and ask difficult questions. All the areas that we think we might not have compliance, we've made sure that we put things in place.
We know that these audits will be measured with certain parameters, and we often hear about the 8 critical elements. Can you tell us exactly what the 8 critical elements are?
Critical element number 1, we have the Primary Aviation Legislation, which created an act. There's an act 2006 that formulates NCA, and now we are in compliance with that. Critical element number 2, we have specific operating regulations, which is a regulation that we have 2009 regulation and 2012 Part 2, which were in compliance. That is how the airline and the operators are regulated. Everything is stated there. Then we have critical element number 3, which is the State Civil Aviation System and Safety Oversight Function. We're also in compliance with that one, about the safety oversight function. We have an oversight over the airlines. Then we have critical element number 4, which is the technical personnel qualification and training. That is how we train our personnel, their qualification and the type of training they have, which we are in compliance with that. The technical personnel qualification, it's difficult. What makes it more difficult is it's very difficult to train. We have the issues with attracting qualified personnel. Then we have to train them. After training, we have some issues with retention. We have to retain them. We have to give them motivation. We have to give them remuneration that is commensurate with their qualification and that will compete with the industry. Okay, we're not talking about earning exactly the same amount, but we're talking of something close